Hello, darlings. Day 22. Very cool. So with my card pull today, I'm just going to talk about the card image and some word associations and call it a day. I don't think I've done that like without having a predetermined question or some sort of topic I wanted to relate the cards to. So I'm just basically looking at the cards for what they are and what comes to mind. I've pulled the cards and I've done some thinking on each card. So the first one was Temperance, which is a really cool image. The first thing that came to mind, or that I noticed, was that these jars look like old-timey alcohol jars. And I can't tell if the dark liquid or the white liquid is what she's pouring, but whatever it is, it doesn't seem to be getting into the other jar. And in the RWS version, you can very clearly see that there's an exchange between both jars. And another thing is this part here, I can't really tell what it is. So if you have an idea, let me know. Or actually, I haven't looked at the guidebook. I can do that too. But also is that she looks very young. So in RWS, it's an angel. And here it's, yeah, she looks very young. And then also the face back here, it seems to me like I know that it's part of the jar that's under her lip there, but it also looks like she's taken a sip of whatever elixir has been going up in between. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And when I think of Temperance, like it's not a very like sexy card. Like I don't really feel like I hear a lot of excitement around the Temperance card. And like I think people associate temperance with purity, and I've heard temperance being balance. And I don't like the word balance for temperance just because like I feel like it's overused with any of the twos, with the lovers, with justice. It's like sense of balance. But here it's more like equilibrium, which I like better than balance. It's anything that is in extremes is just, it's damaging to whatever it is that you're trying to do if all the liquid is in one jar or the other. So I like that word, equilibrium. Another word here, yeah, specifically on this image was youth, which maybe is also tied to the idea of purity. And purity is a word that I do not like. Especially I think in today's age, it's almost creepy. I feel like it's a creepy kind of word to describe anything really, because there's all these weird associations with it. Of course, that can just be my impression. Another word is harmony. I really like that word. Union. And what I also think of is ritual. So I thought of like in Hinduism and how liquids like water, milk, they're very important to pujas and ritual. So, and I know that there's like form of liquids in Catholicism, and, you know, I would say like probably most religions or most systems of belief have liquid. That's very important. So ritual is something that came into mind. So the word in and of itself of temperance reminds me of like alcohol, I guess prohibition. I don't like the morality of the word, but I understand that temperance is more of that like that moderation, that sense of moderation. But I don't think that in today's like lingo, it's used very effectively, other than when it's used when it is like talking about like tempering chocolate. So when you temper something in terms of like cooking, it's like you are cooling it down, right? Like you are working the chocolate, or you're working the product to where it becomes the correct consistency for the cookies, or for whatever it is that you're making. Like you're taking it down from a very high temperature to a lower, more workable temperature. So I like that idea of temperance. It's like taking it from that extreme into something, like taking it from the extreme, because at one point that substance had to be in that extreme in order for then it to be taken down to a level that is now usable for the end product. So that idea of it's a process. So it's almost impossible for us to not get into the extremes, because it necessitates then getting into a more balanced, harmonious state. So I was thinking about that. So also just addressing like my thinking that she like took a sip and it's kind of like dribbling down her mouth. It almost looks like, I don't know, but it's like taking a sip of that elixir, it's just like, I think as humans, we just can't help ourselves. Like we were born to be curious. We encourage curiosity. I guess like not as a wholesale kind of thing, like being curious about some things are safe, and being curious about other things are highly discouraged. And this can also be allowable curiosity that's from your culture, your family, your gender, whatever it is, your age. So I don't know, maybe this can be like more, I have to do a think on the temperance cards, because it could be like fun to really dive more into it. And it's card 14, so it's like higher in the major arcana. So anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't really get ready for this video, but the next one was death. So number 13, which is a very, very cool card. And the words that I had, well, what came out first was like this white rose, which is reminiscent of the death card and the fool card. Probably other cards as well. And what I thought of was just like white, it's the white rose, which I guess in Western religions, white represents like that idea again of like purity, innocence, that kind of thing. And white in Hinduism is the color that is worn for funerals. It's like the color that dead bodies are shrouded in when they're put in the Ganga, in the Ganges River, on the funeral pyre. Like I wore a white shirt to when my father died, that kind of thing. White is also a prominent color in politics in India. A lot of the men wear white. I don't know if there's a correlation to that. So, and so I think that's kind of an interesting difference. Like, so it's kind of cool to see white on death in the death card in a Western, which is also like purity. So it has that double meaning. But red is what we wear in Hinduism. It's an auspicious color. Whereas like in Western psychology, it's like seen as a color of anger, which I guess scientifically it could make anyone, regardless of their cultural associations, angry. I don't know. But red in Hinduism, like if you look at the kumkumam or the red dots on people, like it's an auspicious color, and that's what people wear during the actual wedding ceremony in Hinduism. Women. Okay, and I also, of course, like the eyes on the hands are very prominent, and in her hands she has a knife and she has roses. And another thing that I liked was that it's almost like they want you to know that like the skeleton, the face representing death is like it's makeup, you know, and I really like that idea because it's like basically telling you like, oh, look at me, I'm so scary, but it's like it's makeup. It's like it's not real, because I don't want to say that none of this is real, but it's kind of like it's makeup so you can like wash it away. You can make death and the meaning of death whatever it is that you want. And the eyes for me here are my eyes. They're your eyes. Yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on that, the eyes on the hands. But so I really liked exploring this card as well. The last card that I have is the Three of Keys, which is the Three of Wands, and doorway. What a word. And if you see back here, this is the installation at Burning Man, their art installation. And if you see, I think it's right there, there's a woman who looks very like, I feel like she's saying, come on, you know, like take your pick. And here, you know, her back is facing us, and here the woman saying, come on, her like face is facing us. So so the words that I had were ready, choice, ownership of self and life, and growing up regardless of your chronological age. So it's like, I don't think it's a card of excitement necessarily. It's more neutral. It's just something through doorways. It's just something that we all have to do, right? So the key word is doorways. Doorways can have locks, different kinds of locks. We are required different kinds of keys for different locks, different skills, different ambitions, you know, but it's like up to us. It's like she is on her own, and it's up to the individual to really make the decision of how, like what doors you want to enter, and then come back out of, that kind of thing. So it's like taking ownership of your life for what it is you want to do. And I think that's a sign of growing up. I think that's a sign of like productivity and just engaging in the world in the way that the world wants to be engaged in, and how we are meant to be. We're meant to experience different things. We're meant to be proactive at times. We're meant to be passive at times. And it's just overall like taking ownership of your life. And I don't mean control. I mean just like recognizing that all these parts are our lives, regardless of the keys that you choose and the doors that you walk through. But also knowing that it's just part of growing up, and that we all go through that. Making mistakes, choosing the right doors, choosing the wrong doors, meeting nice people, meeting not so nice people, that kind of thing. And I would say here, it's also just like, it's not one time. It's many, many times, many doorways. When we have to like go back out, take a second and look again at the world outside of us and say, okay, what are we doing next? So anyways, I hope y'all are doing well. This was a fun exercise, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.